Hey, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday to you. It's 7:57. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us on Zoom and Inside Pivot Shift Ahead. It's your friend James Shaw, and we're going to have a great day today. Excited because Hal Elrod is here. Miracle Morning. That book's only sold a gazillion million copies. That's the exact number. Multiple versions, multiple languages, and Hal is going to join us this morning here in just a minute to talk about something that really this group has kind of figured out, which is how to have a miracle morning. But before we do that, a couple of tell me something good. Z, good morning.
Good morning. I just want to say thank you to this community, Josie, Sasha, Leah, and just for being there. And so many of it, I can't name it all. So just being there at the difficult time of my family. And I just want to say thank you. And this community is just amazing. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank
Z,
you.
we love you. We're so sorry about your brother. We love you, and just a lot of blessings to you and your whole family. Thanks for being here, and this community supports each other. That's what we do. So thank you, Z. Be well. I'm going to go to Julie because, Susan, we heard from you in the pre-show. I'm just trying to get everybody in. Julie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I just want to say, do not give up, do not give up, do not give up. Last week, we had one settlement in December, set up for December, and now we have 6. So we did that in a week and a half. So do not give up. Go out and look for those ugly ducklings and the ones that are sitting, on the market. People want to buy.
Get after it, right? Get after it. Last one, Aaron Nelson, good morning.
Good morning. So I realized the other day that I had not introduced our little guy who is 2 months old now. You guys were one of the first ones we told back in January we were expecting. So wanted to introduce him, and also he started sleeping through the night. So I feel human again.
Oh, happy day. That's a good day right there. First, congratulations and thanks so much for being on. And I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. Let's get after it. Hal, how are you doing, man?
James, I'm speechless. I heard Chris's share what you've built. I want to acknowledge you. Like, I don't even know where to start. So thanks for having me, man. I really am excited to be here.
We're happy you're here, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat right away because you have an updated version of the Miracle Morning that's coming out. When's that? When can people start getting it? And they can order it now. I just put the link in, but when can they start getting it?
Hold on. I'm gonna put a different link in. Ready?
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yes.
I just put a new link in. So you can pre-order it today and get the immediate implementation kit, over $199 in free bonuses. This is the new book, over 70 pages of new content. Go to thenewmiraclemorning.com. That's where you can see all the bonuses. And you immediately get a digital 40-page preview of the new book. Yeah, man. So thanks for this opportunity. It's, this is, like you said, it's, over 2 million people have had this change their lives. And the way I see it, that means I have 8 billion people that don't know anything about it and that need help. And my life is dedicated to trying to reach those 8 billion people, however long it takes.
Well, thank you for doing what you do. And this is a community that's all into kind of what you do. And so, but I want to start with, like, the Miracle Morning was born out of messy and just stuff. And by the way, this community was born out of messy and stuff. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about how the whole concept came to be?
Yeah. So the quick origin story is in 2008, the Great Recession was upon us, and I was in denial. I was like, I create my own economy. I'm not worried about what the news says and all of that. And I was a coach. I was coaching real estate agents, salespeople, professionals, and in a matter of 6 months, the Great Recession was a reality. I lost over half of my clients. Therefore, I lost over half of my income. Yep. And I was blaming it on the recession. And this is such an important call right now, such an important time for me to share this story, because the next recession is upon us, right? It's, it's here, it's coming. We don't exactly know where it's headed. And I think, like most people, I was blaming the recession for my financial results. I said, I'm struggling financially because of the recession. I lost half of my clients because of the economy. And I had an epiphany one day, and I heard a Jim Rohn quote. This quote set everything in motion. Jim Rohn said, your level of success will seldom exceed your level of personal development. And a light bulb went off, and I went, well, if I want to achieve the levels of success that I want, I need a daily personal development ritual that enables me to become the person that I need to be to create the success that I want in my life. I want level 10 success. I got to become a level 10 version of myself. And that's where the Miracle Morning was born.
That's really good. Well, it's changed lives of many. and it'll continue to do that. And I think you've brought up something that's really, really important that people need to hear, and we've said it on here. The state of the market is irrelevant to the individual producer, individual agent. And in our industry, Hal, you and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. We've seen transactions. We had the second largest year-over-year decline in home sales in 2022, and then we're having another decline this year. We may not even get to 4 million transactions. I've joked with somebody the other day. This year's unit number would have been awesome in 1997, but it's not 1997. It's 2023. And yet there are people having great years. Like just because the market's gone down doesn't mean you have to go down.
Yeah.
And that comes down to you doing the right things day in and day out, right?
Yeah. Well, it does. And when I took my finger and I stopped pointing it at the economy and I said, how about I'm going to create the most extraordinary personal development ritual so that I can become the person that can thrive during the Great Recession. And just so y'all know, the Miracle Morning was not a book idea. What happened was within 2 months of doing the Miracle Morning, wasn't called that. It was literally my personal development ritual in the morning. But within 2 months of doing it, I more than doubled my income. I got in the best shape of my life. And I went to my wife in the hallway of our home. I can remember the exact moment. And I said, sweetheart, I just signed on 2 more coaching clients. She goes, oh, congratulations, sweetheart. I said, no, you don't understand. That second coaching client, we've officially doubled our income from where it was 2 months ago. And the economy has continued to plummet. I said, it's all because of this morning ritual and it feels like a miracle. She goes, it's your miracle morning.
Wow.
I go, I love that miracle morning. And then I started teaching it to my coaching clients. And I would say most of them resisted and said, I'm not a morning person, Hal. Like, well, what other tips do you have? I go, no, you don't get it. Neither was I. Let me tell you how to, part of this miracle morning is how you get over your limiting belief that says, I'm not a morning person, and how you actually beat that snooze button. And I taught it to my clients. 13 out of 14 clients came back to the next call, their next coaching call 2 weeks later, and said, Hal, oh my gosh, the miracle morning works. I'm having the best week in my sales career. I'm running again. I'm meditating. I'm exercising. I've never done these things before. This miracle morning, it's creating miracles. And that's when I went, okay, wait a minute. If the miracle morning changed my clients' lives and my life, and we weren't morning people, I have a responsibility to share this with the world. 3 years later, because I'm a slow writer, I self-published the original Miracle Morning. And now 11 years after that, I've taken what I've learned over the last 15 years of the practice, 11 years since the book came out, and getting feedback from, millions of people around the world. And that's what this is about, is how do I create, how can I make the original book better? How can I take everything I've learned for the last 15 years and put it into the new book? So whether you're brand new to the Miracle Morning or you've been doing it for 5 years, this will exceed your expectations and help you take yourself to the next level so you can take your success to the next level.
We'll put the link in the chat again for people so they can get it. But Hal, when we talked the other day, I said, you have to have one of the most successful self-published books in history. And it's got to be up there in the top 5 or 10 of that. But walk us through what a morning looks like. Good news is you're talking to morning people. There's 1,000 people on a Zoom at 8:05 in the morning, and most of them are dressed. So you've got morning people here. Walk us through what a miracle morning looks like.
Absolutely. And then just y'all, I put the link in the chat, and it's moving fast, but for y'all verbally, it's thenewmiraclemorning.com. Thenewmiraclemorning.com. That's where you can get all the bonuses. So a miracle morning is made up of 6 practices. And they're known as the Savers. This is an acronym that my wife helped me with when I was writing the original book. And I'm so glad she did, because if it wasn't for this acronym, I don't think the Miracle Morning would have helped people the way it has, because we needed something that is really simple and memorable and cohesive. And so the acronym is SAVERS, SAVERS. Now, if you're taking notes, I would write those vertically, because you're going to write each word horizontally, right? So SAVERS. The first S is for silence, starting your day with peaceful, purposeful silence. That is your meditation and or your prayer time, right? To clear your mind, listen to the wisdom of God, of your subconscious, really to get in a peak state in the morning. The A is for affirmations. Now, affirmations, I'm going to take longer to unpack this one than the others, because I believe this is the most important. It's the anchor for my Miracle Morning, because I'm able to design specific language. This is what I'm committed to. This is why it's a must for me. This is who I'm going to be, what I'm going to do. And I'll tell you, the problem with affirmations, the way we've been taught, there's 2 of them. Number 1, we've been taught to lie to ourselves. Oh, if you're struggling financially and you want to be wealthy, just put the word wealthy after the words I am. I am wealthy. I am wealthy, and affirm it every day. But we know the truth. And if we don't believe that we're wealthy, we're creating an internal conflict that's detrimental, right? It's like, I am wealthy. It's like, no, you're not. Shut up. I'm doing my affirmations. I am wealthy, right? You're fighting with yourself. The truth will always prevail. Number two, we're taught to use affirmations with flowery passive language that promises a magical result independent of our effort. Give you an example. I am a money magnet. Money flows to me effortlessly and in abundance. No, it doesn't. That's not how money works. And that deludes you into thinking that things are magically going to get fixed without you getting clear on what you need to do to make those changes you want to make. And so here's 3 steps to create affirmations that produce results. Of course, I go in detail. I walk you through them in the book. Step 1, affirm what you're committed to. In life, you don't get what you want because you want it, because you're a money magnet. You get what you want when you're fully clear on what you want and you are fully committed to do whatever it takes. Step 2, why is it a must for you? What are the reasons that will compel you when you don't feel like it, when you're tired, when you're scared, when you're anxious, and you read these reasons, you're like, I'm doing it for my spouse. I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for my kids. I'm doing it because I deserve it. And when you read those reasons every day and you affirm them, you're like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter that I don't feel like it. I'm going to get on the phone anyway. I'm going to do that thing anyway. Step 3, which specific actions will you take and when? Affirm which actions you'll take and when. That is how rubber meets the road, right? It's not enough to say I'm committed to this and here's why, and then go back to doing nothing. You got to go, because I'm committed to this and I know my why, I'm going to do these things on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, at these times, right? Here's what I'm going to do. Those are 3 steps to create affirmations that produce results.
That's great.
And then quickly, the V is for visualization. The E is for exercise, right? So the V in Savers is visualization. E is for exercise. R is for reading. And the final S is for scribing. And James, let me put a bow on it with this. I'm going to paraphrase Robert Kiyosaki. He has read The Miracle Morning 3 times at least. That was when I talked to him. He had me on Rich Dad Radio, and he said at the end of the show, Hal, every successful person swears by at least one of the savers. But he said, you named the book correctly because since I've started doing all 6 of the savers, which I've never heard of anyone that did all 6 of these practices in one routine, he said, it's creating miracles in my life. You named the book correctly.
Wow, that's amazing. A lot of people, I'm sure you could ask this question a lot. Can I overlap some of these things? So for example, if I'm exercising, can I do my affirmations? That was when I asked people, what should we ask you today? That was the top question. Can I overlap this stuff? So what's the answer?
100%. I mean, there's a chapter in the book called Customizing Your Savers to Fit Your Lifestyle. And I talk about you can do them in any order that you want. Some people, if they wake up and they're like, if I meditate, I'm going to fall asleep on my couch, right? It's like, do your 60 seconds of jumping jacks, move exercise to the front, right? Get your heart rate up. Now you're ready to go. So you can do them in any order. And yes, you can absolutely stack them together. I have one friend, she records her affirmations on audio. So she writes them out, prints them out, then records them on audio, and then she listens to them while she runs on the treadmill. So you can, and I often will, I'll use my affirmations and then I'll visualize the thing I'm affirming. So I'll affirm it, visualize it, affirm it, visualize it, right? So yes, you can combine and overlap the savers.
One thing we hear on here, we've been doing this call now almost 4 years. We started it March 16, 2020, right as the pandemic started, as a way to start our day. We knew we needed community. We knew we needed a positive place to hang out. We needed a place to get our mindset right and move forward. It's totally in alignment with what you do. And one thing I hear when I go on the road, I go do speaking engagements or various things, I hear people say, you know, James, man, I used to be on your call. I should get back on that. Like, that was so helpful for me. And I did it for a while and it was really helpful. And I haven't been on and I should get back on. And I bet you hear that a ton, that, dude, I was doing the Miracle Morning and then I kind of fell off and I really need to get back on. Do you hear that a lot, I imagine?
Oh, absolutly.
Yeah.
And the first thing I always say,
advice to get back in the game? What would you tell someone that's kind of fallen off and they got to get back into whatever that thing is?
I start by quoting Penelope Cruz in the movie Vanilla Sky. And I probably butcher the quote a little, but she essentially said, every passing moment is another chance to turn it all around. Right. And for me, I have a little mantra where I say, never let one bad day turn into 2. And that might mean never let one bad month turn into 2 or one bad year. It basically just means that every day, today's the day that you go, you know what? I fell off. I'm recommitting. And I'll tell you, James, we have a Miracle Morning Messengers launch team for the book, people that are, love the Miracle Morning and they're helping share it. And I've had so many of them say, the new book's what I like. This new book's what I needed. This has re-energized my Miracle Morning. And then also, I will say this, we have a free Miracle Morning app. That's also something that if you go in the App Store and you read, there's 2,000 5-star reviews. When I read them, so many of them say this app, I had fallen off my Miracle Morning, but this app gave me accountability. I was tracking it and now it re-energized. So whether it's the new book, the app, I think it's just deciding that it doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Today, I'm drawing my line in the sand and I'm committing that I will recommit to my Miracle Morning. And it starts by getting clear on, all right, what book am I going to read tomorrow? I'm going to set my journal out, right? I'm going to get ready tonight for my Miracle Morning tomorrow.
I imagine that not every day is a pink fluffy unicorn for you either, that you have times that you struggle, times that are hard, times that you get out of routine, times that are just tough. So what does Hal Elrod do when things get tough?
Yeah, I'll go back to 2020 when you started, right around the time you started this group. I think you and I were getting a similar message from God probably. And it was that, people need leadership, people need support. I asked myself the question, as 2020 felt so out of control, what should I focus on right now? What I realize is that when we focus on that which is out of our control, we feel out of control. And that perpetuates stress and fear and anxiety, and it leads to depression. And that's why more people in the world, and many of us on this call, myself included, have experienced more stress, more fear, more anxiety, and more depression over the last 3 years than probably any other time in our lifetime. And so I realized when I focus on that which is out of my control, I feel out of control. And that doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve my family. It's not going to serve, humanity. So what should I focus on? The only thing I should be focused on are things that are within my control. And there's really only one thing in our control, and it's us. And to me, there's two sides of that coin. It's who we become every day, who we become each day, and how we show up for ourselves, for those we love and those we lead. So I doubled down on my Miracle Morning, and that's what I do. When I'm in a funk, I realize, my savers are I'm kind of half-assing them. I'm not really committed. I'm not focused. And I just get back to the basics. Because if every day you use your Miracle Morning to put yourself in a peak physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual state, that improves your mental health instantly, in a day. And then you're able to show up for the people you love, the people you lead, and for yourself as the best version of who you can be that day. And so, that is my answer, James, is I double down on my Miracle Morning when I'm struggling. And I struggle a lot.
It seems like that on the days that we struggle, because that just knowing then what to do tomorrow. I read a thing in the Harvard Business Review the other day that the reason why we don't make change is not because we don't have the desire to make change. We just simply don't know what to do to change. And the Miracle Morning outlines what to do to change. If you've had a rough time, a bad day, but you want to get after it, go journal for 5 minutes or whatever it is, right? You said 60 jumping jacks. Like when I heard exercise, I'm like, I got to go do CrossFit. 60 seconds of jumping jack, like just get into some kind of routine. It builds over time. It's ridiculously simple, but it can create so much momentum. Is that right? This can create so much momentum.
And momentum is crucial. The hardest thing to do is take the first step always, and that's why when I speak, the Miracle Morning is still 11 years later. This is the keynote speech that I give at every conference I speak at. And I end the speech with a 30-day challenge. Actually, I changed that. Now I call it a 30. In the new book, it's the 30-day journey, because one of my team members goes, Hal, don't people have enough challenges? Don't give them another challenge. Like we got to, right, let's, and it's not a challenge where you in 30 days, you're like, oh, that was great. Now I'm done. It's, hey, this is a journey. This is literally the beginning of a lifetime practice. And I heard I think Chris said she's been doing the Miracle Morning for 14 years or something like that. Right. So it is a lifelong journey, but to your point, the momentum, that first step's the hardest. And so whenever I end my speech, I don't say, hey, wake up an hour earlier and do all 6 of the savers. By all means, if you feel ready for that, go for it. If you've done the Miracle Morning before and that was your routine, so you're like, I'm gonna go back to it, great. But if you're new to this, or if you're overwhelmed, wake up tomorrow 10 minutes earlier and do one of the savers. And I'll tell you what a lot of people do, James, if someone's never read the book, or let's say you're pre-ordering the new book and you're gonna get a 40-page preview, a sneak peek, the first 40 pages of the book. All you have to do, think how easy this is. You set your alarm clock for 10 or 15 minutes earlier. You wake up and you just do the R in Savers. You don't have to think about it. You open the book and you just start reading. And when you get to the chapter on silence, you add that into the next miracle morning. Then you get to the chapter on affirmations, and and then now it's a week or so where you've 10 minutes at a time, you've built this miracle morning, and it wasn't hard. It wasn't overwhelming. It was easy. It was exciting. And eventually you go from leaning into it to now you've got a full-blown practice that's changing your life.
I love it. The newmiraclemorning.com is where you can order the updated version. Hal, as we wrap up, what's if someone's hanging up on this call today and they're getting ready to go do the next thing in their day, what's the one thing you hope they walk away with?
This is what I've been saying this for 24 years, and it's love the life you have while you create the life of your dreams.
That's good.
And there's actually, and the last chapter, balloons just went off. That was cool. I don't know how that happened, but the last chapter in the new book is called The Miracle Life. And it's about exactly that. How can you love the life you have when it's really hard? Yeah. When you're going through those difficult times in your life. And for me, all my adversities, that was the superpower is, hey, I can't change that I was in a car accident. I can't change that I have a financial collapse. I can't change that I have cancer, but I can choose to enjoy this one life I've been blessed to live. So that's it. Love this one life you have, because you don't know how much longer you have. And then wake up every day and become the best version of yourself so you can create everything that you want and that you deserve.
Dude, you're awesome. Thank you for being on with this group this morning, getting up early. You're in the ATX, so it is 7:18 at your house. So thank you for getting up early for us. Congratulations on the success for following the call that was given to you and pursuing that on the updated book. There's all these satellite versions. Like my friends worked with you on the Miracle Morning for Couples, and so I've got their book, and then there's one for real estate. There's all this stuff out there. It's awesome. Thank you for being on our call today. For our friends who are on, what do you think we're talking about tomorrow? We're going to unpack this. You probably got to go back and watch it, because we're going to unpack what Hal taught us. We're going to go learn. Dude, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for your support, pre-ordering the book. I love you. Thank you.
Oh, you got it. All right, everybody. Got your inspiration. Go put in the perspiration. We will see you Friday. Have a good one. Bye, Hal. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Hal. Thank you, James.
Have a great